Right now, Bangladesh is just exploding with economic growth. But, with that kind of crazy speed comes a whole lot of complexity. So today, we're going to dive into a key player that's helping businesses make sense of it all, the business consultant.
And look, this isn't some far-off dream we're talking about. This is what's happening right now. Years of solid growth and this huge wave of innovation have really put Bangladesh on the map globally. But if you're a company on the ground in the middle of all this, you've got to be asking yourself, how on earth do we keep up?
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about the boom itself. Then we'll get into the challenges that come with it. After that, we'll introduce the business consultant, peek inside their toolkit, check out the consulting landscape, and wrap up with why they're such a key partner for growth.
Okay, first things first. Let's really set the scene here. The economic story in Bangladesh isn't just some slow, steady climb. Nope, it's this super dynamic, fast-moving story that's getting a ton of attention from all over the world.
So what's really fueling all this? What's under the hood? Well, what's so cool here is just how diverse these engines of growth are. Yeah, of course, you've got the ready-made garment sector. That's the powerhouse we all know. But look what else is happening. We're seeing this really smart diversification. You've got pharmaceuticals, ICT, agro-processing, light engineering. They're all really starting to hit the accelerator. And all of this is getting supercharged by steady GDP growth and, crucially, a growing middle class that has money to spend.
But let's be real. This kind of insane growth, it doesn't happen without a few bumps in the road. Success brings all these new layers of complexity, and figuring out how to navigate them, well, that's the secret to making this growth stick around.
For any business in Bangladesh right now, whether you're a tiny startup or a huge corporation, things are getting pretty demanding. I mean, think about it. You're up against tough global competition. You're trying to figure out complex regulations. There's this constant pressure to go digital, and you're looking at this massive opportunity, but also a huge challenge of expanding into international markets. That's a lot for anyone to handle on their own.
And this is exactly where our main character enters the scene. In this kind of high-stakes game, the business consultant has become, honestly, an absolutely essential partner for getting through these challenges and grabbing those opportunities.
Okay, so when we say business consultant, what are we actually talking about? Well, the textbook definition is pretty simple. They're outside experts who come in to help companies do better. But in the real world, what they bring is a super important outside perspective and very specific knowledge to solve problems. That could be anything from making operations run smoother to mapping out a 5-year strategy or finding brand new ways to grow.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This is the modern take on it. And this quote from TNIB, Trade and Investment Bangladesh, just nails the shift in thinking. It shows that the best consultants today, they're not just some expert you call when you have one specific problem. No, they see themselves as long-term strategic partners. They're in it with you, invested in your journey for the long haul.
So what's actually in this partner's toolkit? Like, what do they do to help a company unlock all that potential? Let's get into the specifics.
You can pretty much think of it as a 4-step journey from an idea to real success. Step 1, it all starts with the foundation, right? That means deep market research and a rock-solid strategic plan. From there, step 2, they help you actually make your move. That means giving you the support you need to enter new markets or get your exports going. Then, for step 3, they pull you into the 21st century with digital transformation and sharp marketing. And finally, step 4, they get under the hood and fine-tune your entire business process to make sure everything is running as efficiently as possible.
All right, but here's the thing. The world of consulting is definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. The scene in Bangladesh is really diverse, and finding the partner that's the perfect fit for you is absolutely key.
This little table here gives us a fantastic snapshot of what that looks like. So on one hand, you've got the global giants. Think PwC, Deloitte. They're perfect for massive corporations that are going through these huge, complex changes. Then you've got these awesome local specialists like TNI or the Bangladesh Trade Center. These guys are amazing at giving that practical, hands-on support to small and medium businesses and anyone trying to export. And last but not least, you have the data-focused firms like Lightcastle Partners. They are essential if you need deep, data-driven insights to make smart investment decisions.
Okay, so this brings us to our final section, and it's all about a really important shift in how you think about this. When you're thinking about hiring a consultant, the question shouldn't be, how much does this cost? The real question is, what's the return on this investment?
So let's actually do the math here, strategically speaking. On one side of the scale, yeah, there are costs. You've got the fees, the money it takes to actually make the changes happen, and of course, the time your team puts in. But then, look at the other side of the scale, the benefits.
You get expert knowledge that you just don't have in-house. You get an objective pair of eyes to spot things you're missing. You get a clear roadmap to grow faster. And this is huge. You lower your risk and get access to their entire network of contacts. When you weigh it all out, the return on that investment can be absolutely massive.
So if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. In a market as fast-moving as Bangladesh's, a consultant isn't just someone you hire to fix a problem. They are a true strategic partner, someone who's genuinely committed to your success in the long run.
And that really brings us to our final thought for you to chew on. As you think about this incredible, fast-changing landscape, I want you to ask yourself this one simple question. Because figuring out that one thing, that one hurdle, that's the very first step to finding the right partner who can help you clear it and really truly start to grow. Thanks so much for joining us.